All right, guys, bring it back in. Thank y'all for your patience. Here you go.
Is it working? Can y'all hear me? Okay, it's working. Cool.
All right, we're good.
I was afraid to say something in case it crashed again, you know?
All right. Raise your right hand. Sir, yes. 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 Just verifying. Okay. Raise your right hand. I, insert name,
I, Landry Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interests of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing
while ardently executing
the office of
the office of President
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations.
Thank you all. Good thing is that we pre-disastered the year, so we don't have to worry about anything else now happening. I'm joking. I now have the pleasure and privilege of swearing in my new executive board. So Robert Bennett, would you please come up here? Make sure it's working.
Hello. Oh, there I am.
Okay. I believe it's working. Robert, would you please raise your right hand? I, insert name,
I, Robert Bennett,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent the interests
that I shall faithfully represent the interests
of the student body
of the student body
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold
I shall dutifully uphold
and preserve the Constitution and bylaws
and preserve the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
Vice President
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
I will now get the pleasure of swearing in Chloe Dix for secretary. Would you please make your way down? And make sure it works.
Hello.
Okay, it works. Awesome. Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, insert name,
I, Chloe Dix,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interests of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
secretary
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations. I now also have the pleasure of swearing in Miss Beverly Luna, who is also our Miss UT Tyler, for treasurer. There you go. You can stand over here. Make sure that works.
Hello.
Perfect. Would you please raise your right hand? I, insert name,
I, Beverly Luna,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully
that I shall faithfully
represent the interests of the student body
represent the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
while ardently executing the office of treasurer
for the student body
for the student body
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations. I now also have the pleasure of inviting Soren Peters up here to swear in for a position I formerly was in. Soren, if you would please make sure that that mic works.
Testing. Hello.
Perfect. And raise your right hand. I, insert name,
I, Thornton Peters,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interests of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
while ardently executing the office of Chief of Staff
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler.
So now I have the pleasure of swearing in all of our incoming senators that ran in the fall election. So if you would please all stand and raise your right hand. Zoom attendees, if you wouldn't mind, if you're attending and you ran during the fall election, please use your camera. And if you're returning, yes, everybody that ran in the fall election. That includes you, Alicia. Yes, you're included. Adon, you're also included. Yeah, you're good. B, you're also included. Yes. And yeah. Is that everybody? All right. If y'all would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, insert name, do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Y'all may all take your seat as senators. Moving on, we have a couple of appointments. I would like to invite, or I entertain a motion to appoint Kaylin Moore to the Health Science Center Senate seat. Kaylin, if you would come down here and maybe introduce yourself and give a, oh, yes. Still getting used to this. Here you go. If you wouldn't mind just telling the Senate just who you are, who you're wishing to represent, and if they have any questions.
Yeah, so my name's Kaylin Moore. I am a student at the UT Health Science Center for my MHA. I got about a year left. I really hope to be a part of this organization to collaborate with you guys as well. Now that we're all one entity, I think it's going to be really important that we really incorporate not only graduate students, but incoming medical students that are coming in within the next year. So if you guys have any questions, just ask away. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any specific ways that you are thinking of linking main campus and health science center?
Yeah, so I am actually an undergrad student here. I graduated from here in 2020. So I really am intrigued by the student life part of it and by just having events and stuff like that. And it is different with graduate students because a lot of us work full time as well. And a lot of them have families. I'm kind of the oddball, I feel like, in the program coming straight out of an undergrad. But I think a lot of us want that interaction, especially now that we are still online with classes. So I think collaborating with you guys to do, I think I've talked with a few of you guys about doing, you know, like job fairs, things like that, building our LinkedIn accounts, building our resumes, stuff like that, and anything that we can do with you guys that they're wanting to do. I mean, not everybody's going to want to participate, of course, but just to have that involvement and for us to have a voice here on this campus, even though we're distant, I think that would be really helpful. So.
Any other questions? If none, then we will move to voting. Kaylin, if you don't mind being walked out by Casey, she will escort you out there and then we will vote. And I do just want to reiterate that if you have just been sworn in as a new senator or returning senator, you also will be voting. I'm waiting for the door to shut. Yeah, it takes a little bit. There it goes, speeding up. All right. Does anybody have any questions or comments in favor or disagreeing with Kaylin as being a senator for the Health Science Center? Robert?
I think it's great that we're finally getting representation from there. That's all I have to say.
I will also note that she is a graduate student and we have not had graduate representation in student government in quite a while. So Josh, do I admit or no? She was in here earlier. Okay, we're going to continue on. Any other comments before we vote? Okay. Did you?
Motion to vote.
More specific,
Kina
would-
for the Health Science Center. No,
Kaylin,
Kaylin for the Health Science Center position.
Yes.
Graduate position.
Senate seat. Motioned by Ashlyn and seconded by Valerie. If you are in favor, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. If you're opposed, please raise your hand or do a heart emoji. And if you abstain, please raise your hand or do a different emoji. Seeing none. She wins on a majority. I need to get used to the phraseology of how to say that, but please applause whenever she comes in. Next up, we have a familiar face, Shelby Kipp. She is next up, we have Shelby Kipp. She is a familiar face. She is being appointed to the Junior at-Large Student Body Representative. Shelby, if you would say a few words, and if any of y'all have questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, is it working? Yes. Okay, so hi. I know a lot of y'all. For those I don't know, my name is Shelby Kipp. I will be a sophomore this upcoming school year, or junior, sorry. I'll be a junior this upcoming school year. I changed my major to education, so I was voted in for the office of College of Nursing for the senator position, but since I changed my major, I am doing junior at large now. Whenever I first joined student government, I did a student body at large senator position first, and I got appointed to nursing. So we're just redoing the cycle again, but it's fine. So if y'all have any questions, I guess just ask away.
All right, seeing none, Casey, if you wouldn't mind escorting Shelby out, and we will vote. Waiting for the door to close. I would like to open it up to any comments or concerns that y'all have. Oh boy.
She seems like a pretty cool girl.
I worked with Shelby all this like last year. She was a great senator. I don't blame her for switching to education, nursing. It's nursing, but she's gonna do great in education even though she's student body at large, but either way, she's gonna do great.
Any other comments? Seeing, oh. Okay. Go for it.
I motion open voting to appoint Shelby to the junior student body at large Senate position.
Motioned by Adon Govea, seconded by Ashman. If you are in favor, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. If you are opposed, please raise your hand or do a heart emoji. If you abstain, please raise your hand or do a different emoji. Seeing that is unanimous, Shelby will be appointed to the junior student body at large Senate seat. And if y'all wouldn't mind applauding whenever she comes in. Kaylin and Shelby, if you wouldn't mind coming up here, and I will do the oath of office. We'll start with, we'll do it one at a time. So I'll start with Shelby. I, insert name,
I, Shelby Kipp,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interest of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
Senator for Student Body at Large
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations. Kaylin, if you wouldn't mind raising your right hand and repeating after me. I, insert name,
I, Kaylin Moore,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interests of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
Student Senate for the Health Science Center
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations. All right. Moving on. Let me pull up the agenda real quick. I need to stop sharing and then share that screen, right? Or is it already sharing? Moving on, couple of announcements, and Casey, if you wouldn't mind doing the announcements. Oh, advisor comments. I am so sorry. I'm new to this.
I am, but sometimes y'all skip me one week. No, I was we almost, and then y'all called me out. Okay. Well, congratulations to all of our new senators and officers. I'm super excited. That's bittersweet because I want to thank all of our outgoing. Y'all did an amazing job. this academic year. I think many of y'all were, these last couple of years have been pretty rocky. And so I think a lot of our students, and with you being student leaders, craving this in-person interaction, this normal experience. And so it's been a great year. And so I'm going to miss many of y'all. Thank you for your time and your service. I think we're in a much better place. We've gotten consistently better over the years, and this is, I'm excited to see what the future holds. And so as far as today's meeting, I want to, Daniel, spot on those Regents roles. And so not many students are aware of Regents roles, as well as UT Tyler rules. And so that's kudos on taking time to do their research and looking that up. I think it's a great idea what y'all proposed. I did confirm with Dr. Kraus that there are only 6 to 7 of those metal flag tees. And so it's going to take time for facilities to identify all of the flag tee items that can be given away. I do think it is very possible. Right. And so, but how do we auction this off? Right. Do we cut it out? So I think it's going to take time. It is going to be a slow rollout. The flag tee is still in use. It's still part of who we are. It is not going to be stop using it, stop wearing it kind of thing. It's part of history. And so as we roll out the new spirit mark, which I'm very excited about. And so great idea. I think it's a great way. I love the scholarship idea. I think that's a great way to support our students. And it also goes back to our community. And so a lot of great discussion on that. That was the big one. Yes, Brennan. Well, it has to go to the Board of Regents. And so I believe that's going to be on the May agenda. And so they'll vote on it. And then assuming everything goes well, which I anticipate it will take probably 2 to 3 months for trademarks to be locked in, licensing. We're going to try to be aggressive and try to have it on welcome week stuff. But I can't promise that. But definitely in the fall semester, you'll start seeing items with all the marks, whether it be academic or spirit. And so for the start of the fall, but not this summer. It's going to take some time. But the Board of Regents meetings are public, so you can always tune in and see if they vote yes on that. And so Casey will be there as well. So I'm sure she'd be happy to share the good news, and we'll get to work on that. So that's a good question. I did want to make a comment about the graduate students. And so I think Casey's done a fantastic job of trying to get our graduate students engaged by having the graduate committee center position. I also want to compliment pharmacy because pharmacy are technically graduate students. And I think this is the first year that we've had a lot more dedicated commitment to engaging our graduate students as well as our distance students. When we were down in Houston a couple of weeks ago, which is hard to believe it's been a couple of weeks, I told our Houston students that this is the first year we've had this much participation from the Houston campus. And that's pretty cool. And now we can shift our focus on Longview and Palestine because now we've got Houston and HSC represented. Let's go get those other 2 campuses because as those who got to attend, it is different experience down there. And so how do we make sure that we're advocating for all of our students, not just the main campus? So I think that's really important. Other than that, I think it's great the election was a great election. I think it's when you have competition, you have a lot more voter turnout, you have a larger Senate, and to the fact that we already have 2 appointments, it tells me that students are getting more interested in student government. And so we got to keep that momentum going. And so as you've got questions or concerns throughout the summer, the executive board is the acting Senate. So therefore, if you've got problems or you hear about issues or you want to talk about something good, let the e-board know because the e-board is responsible for meeting over the summer and addressing any of those concerns. If it is Yes, we've got 2 students that I know. 3 Houston senators next fall. Yeah. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Okay.
Moving on to announcements, I'm going to let Casey handle them if she does not mind.
Y'all thought you had heard the last of me. Okay. I'm gonna do Senator of the Week last because it's a good note to end on, right? So SGA banquet. You have 2 hours left to do the RSVP, and handy for you, I brought a QR code to the form. I know I'm good like that. New senators, we welcome you. We encourage you to attend. You're welcome to bring a +1. If you need to make any changes after you've submitted the form, please communicate that with me. We're going to do the catering order tomorrow, probably tomorrow, Thursday. But we hope to see you all there. It's formal attire. The theme is casino. Hopefully we'll have some games set up, and we'll also be doing some games similar to senator training, the big, fun, competitive. So bring your A game, prepare to win, and to celebrate our accomplishments. It's been a good year. There will be awards and things too. I didn't mention. Anybody else need the QR code? Okay, great. I'd like to reiterate the Earth Day campus cleanup that is happening on Friday. I will also be throwing out the first pitch at the game on Friday, which is a pretty cool honor. So if you're nearby and want to come to the game, I'd appreciate seeing some friendly faces in the stands. That's a pretty cool opportunity. And then the moment you're all waiting for, let's get a drum roll for the Senator of the Week. 3, 2, 1. Maggie. Yeah, Maggie Manning. Come on up. You can get a nice warm handshake from the new president. So for those of you that are new, we do Senator of the Week each week. It's a great opportunity for us to recognize our peers. Ideally, it's supposed to be submitted by fellow senators, but this week we felt that as a combined act, we would recognize one of our new senators who you may recognize from serving in the Met at midnight breakfast. So even though she wasn't a member of our organization, she stood up and decided to help out, and we appreciate that. So she is our last Senator of the Week for the 21-22 year. And with that, I pass it back to President Smith.
I now entertain a motion to adjourn. It's carried and seconded. All in favor, say, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. All opposed, please raise your hand or do a thumbs down emoji. Any abstentions, please do some other emoji or raise your hand. Seeing that passes overwhelmingly, this meeting is now concluded.